তাই।
ওয়ার্ক অফ আর্ট।
I see.
আমাদের বডি হচ্ছে ওয়ার্ক অফ আর্ট, একটা মন্দির। আর মাসলগুলো তার মধ্যে সব কারুকার্য।
What's going on, everybody? I think everything's fine and everyone's having their workout and their diet watched upon. So I'm kind of redoing or restarting the Legends video that I started. A couple of those I did some time back. I'm restarting that. Seems like a good thing to do once in a while. So today the video that we're doing here is about Moloy Roy. And this gentleman hails from Bengal of India, that is Kolkata. Now, there are a lot of info about this gentleman that I'm not aware of, and I really didn't find anywhere in the internet about this. If anyone knows, please fill in the gaps, and I'm gonna do another video on this person. So, who you're seeing on the screen is Moloy Roy, and he's a recipient of the Arjuna Award and I-Times Mr. India. And this is a snippet from or a picture from a movie, Joy Baba Felunath, which was directed by Satyajit Ray, and it screened in 1979. So there is a particular significance about this year, and we're going to get into that in the upcoming part of the video. But let's just get going with it. So just to say, bring a link in the whole picture. This gentleman is the son of Monotosh Roy, and I made a video about Monotosh Roy last time in the Legends series. And Monotosh Roy, there are many things to talk about him, but one of the primary things is that he's the first Mr. Universe winner from Asia in the amateur category. So that's a big thing. You can check out his video that I made quite some time back, and I tried to put as much info in that as I could. So that's about it. That's about his father. And moving on, Moloy Roy, he starred in only one movie, and that's in 1979, as I said, Joy Baba Felunath, the poster of the picture that you're seeing on the screen. Now, it's a Bengali movie and might not be possible for everybody out there to read what's on the screen, but it's like the poster that used to come at that time. Not really hi-fi. The primary characters of the movie. It's a detective movie. One of the legendary detective characters from Bengali literature. His name is Feluda or Pradosh Mitra. And you can see all the prime three characters in the middle of the screen, like at the bottom middle, and then at the right bottom is the picture and the posing picture of Moloy Roy. Now, it's a different thing that I would definitely recommend you go check out the movie, because it's a gem of a movie on its own, just like any other movie of Satyajit Ray. So at the time when this movie was released, there was not really much appreciation or much going on around bodybuilding, and whoever were in that field or in that profession were really daring to do that, because they were not sure about their future, their earning or whatever. So you gotta give it up to these people who actually tried at that time. We're not talking about 2017, where every other person is actually a self-proclaimed bodybuilder. It's just 1979. It's quite old. All right, so let's moving on. Here are some pictures, some clips, some pictures from the movie, as well as some really unseen pictures of rare pictures behind the scene, where you can see Satyajit Ray. He's either directing or having fun with Moloy Roy. There are many other pictures which are out of context, so I didn't put them in, but those are also fun to watch. I'm not really sure in the context of this channel I can bring those pictures in, but you can watch them or check those out over the net. Now, moving on, there's a particular reason I mentioned at the very beginning that the 1979, I'm stressing on this year. There's a reason for it. So the primary reason is that 1979, there must have been a Mr. Olympia competition going on at that time, right? Because it has already started much before that. So 1979 lineup is something you can see that is the top standings of 1979 on the screen. And you can check out pretty much all these names are awesome, but some of the names that you cannot really forget or cannot know if you're in this at least the fitness or the bodybuilding field, or you love the sport. These, if you can see, under 2,200 pounds, you have Ed Corney, Tom Platz, um, and like Carlos Rodriguez, Danny Padilla, and Frank Zane. So those are like pretty awesome name or legendary name when it comes to bodybuilding. And then over 200 pound, there you see Mike Menzer, and the overall winner was Frank Zane. Pretty much all the people on this listing are legendary, but I just named those who are like de facto names in the bodybuilding world, right? And 1979, coincidentally, has been one of those years, which was the last year where there was a overall winner that was announced. Okay, so Frank Zane won 77, 78, 79, three Mr. Olympias, and right after 1979, the overall winning thing was kind of removed, and the class-based winners were only there. So you can either be amateur group or the overall Mr. Olympia, stuff like that. So anyway, that's not the main point. The main point is the actual winner of this competition was the overall winner was Frank Zane. And I did bring up the I could, because Frank Zane is a pretty popular person, and at that time in US, bodybuilding was much more popular than it was in India. So obviously his stats and everything's pretty easily available. So I brought those in, I pulled the info out, and I found a huge amount of info that you see on the screen, and you see the pictures, though, both the people side by side. Of course, not posing routine exactly for Moloy Roy, but whatever I could dig out, that's the picture you see. This is only one stat that I could bring out about Moloy Roy, and that's the arm size, okay? And that's 17 and a half. And I'm gonna play a short clip here which will tell where I got the info from, hopefully, depending on the authenticity of the clip.
আপনার ওই হাতের গুলি কি সত্যি 17? 17 and a half.
Now that you've seen where I got the info from, because I didn't find it anywhere else documented, so I'm assuming that's correct. What I want to say is that look at the Mr. Olympia stats, and although we don't have anything else, we know both are bodybuilders, both are aesthetic, and arms of Frank Zane at that time is his prime at competitive stats was 18 inches, and that of Moloy Roy was 17 and a half inches, which is damn pretty close. I know half inches is a lot when it comes to competitions, but we're talking about Mr. Olympia class. So I just want to bring the comparison that although these people at their time might like look very small, or Moloy Roy himself, he's not really looking that pumped, because of course, because before the competition you just go ahead and pump up a lot of muscle, and you do a lot of different routines so that your muscles pop, and dehydration and whatnot. But just looking at the stat, these two persons are actually comparable, although I have no idea how the legs are, but I'm hoping those are good. I wish I had some really good pictures to show, but I don't have. There's the sad part of it. I mean, in today's day, there are so many people, I mean, they're not even close to aesthetic. And even if you look at the current Mr. Olympia trend for the last 10 years, it's just, or even more, as just as much mass you got, you're the Mr. Olympia, right? Or you're at least the top 10. But during that time, it was more of aesthetics, like Arnold, Tom Platz, and all these people, and Lee Labrada, all these people. Some of them never won the Mr. Olympia title, but they were always in the lineup, either first 3 or first 10 something. They were aesthetic. There were people who would walk down the street and then they still look good. At the same time, they could stand up on the Olympia stage and lift the trophy. But anyway, that's a different discussion altogether. What I want to point out is we're looking at one of those unsung heroes from India. And I wouldn't say Bengal or something. It doesn't matter where he's from. He's from India, and this is what happens when you are much ahead of your time, and you're at the wrong place. So I'm not saying anything wrong about my country. I'm saying that these people were at the wrong place. If they had been in the right place where this sport was cherished much more, they would have been much bigger than what they are. So yeah, so that's pretty much the comparison I wanted to draw. And about the whatever I know about Moloy Roy and what he did in his life after he won the titles in the movies and stuff. He inherited the multi gym that Monotosh Roy opened, and after Monotosh Roy's death, he was the one who was running it, and he later renamed it to Moloy Roy Gym and Yoga Center, I believe. And that's still available. It's an open, it's an open business out there in Calcutta. So that's what he's doing. If I ever get a chance to take an interview with this person, or take any more info about this person, I'm gonna get that. If you have more info, let me know, and I'm gonna put those up. So that was the video about Moloy Roy, and I'm gonna end this video with a clip from the movie and whatever. Although it's not a professional pose down, but whatever pose down we have from this movie, and I highly recommend. If you got a translated version available, if not, you're a Bengali, you just go ahead and watch it. If it's a translation version available, just watch the English version at least. It's one of the gem of a movie as well. So that's pretty much it. Let's just watch the clip.
ও কিছুটা রে হ্যাঁ এই বানানটা কি বলো তো LATISSI আমি এবার লিখুন ডেল্টয়েড